I've mentioned something of what it's like now. Before I would end, I would just like to say on this auspicious day of celebration of 30 wonderful years, I would like to share some memories of what it was like then. So 30 years ago, the challenge seemed enormous. Peter and I arrived in Scotland. We had no treatment centre from the south of England, and we left behind another treatment centre in safe and capable hands. The rehab that we'd established and run for 5 years. And our intention was to open an addiction clinic in Scotland. And we came with faith and hope and a lot of trust in our higher power, because we had nothing, we had just a lot of hope. We put a bid in for this building that was on the market, and for another building that was on the market, and we were unsuccessful. It was another hospital in the north of Scotland. But filled with hope, here we came, and we were successful in our bid for Castlecraig. And in August 1988, we became the owners of Castlecraig Hospital. So you can imagine the happiness and the gratitude that we felt on that day. We were in fact the underbidders in financial terms, but it was our bid that was successful. So it was a miracle, a little miracle, one of those, as I call them, God instances. And we were living at that time near Edinburgh, and I travelled down to Castlecraig for the first time. And as I travelled into Peebles, I just remember the wonderful experience of the magnificent hills which unfolded before me, and I just felt absolutely overawed by the beauty of the countryside around me. And then I came to Castlecraig, and I looked out of the windows of the drawing room there, and I looked up at the hills across the valley there, and I was absolutely struck and stunned. And I saw these beautiful hills enfolding us, and I was immediately reminded of the words of the psalm, "I lift up mine eyes to the hills, from whence shall come my help? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth." So when I knew in my heart that this was the place, this would be a place of hope for people and families whose lives are ravaged by addiction, who are hopeless and helpless, even though they don't realise it sometimes, that this place would be a sanctuary for them to find the help and healing they needed. So often I speak to patients who have no religious higher power, but they find in the beauty and the magnificence of creation that is here and visible and palpable at Castlecraig, these wonderful surroundings, the spiritual power that awakens their hearts and fills them with that hope, a hope that lifts them out of the petty, selfish concerns of our addicted self-centeredness. 30 years ago, we arrived with 4 small children, one a baby just a few months old, and he's now a doctor training in addiction medicine. We were in an empty building, which was painted with garish paint. It had been a school for boys with special needs, but we were ready to embrace the challenge because we knew our higher power was leading us and helping us. And so within a short time, the miracles began to happen. We quickly recruited our first therapists, our groundsman, our cook, our nurses, and we had Chris Burns, who's here today. And soon our first patients began to arrive. And when I think of these first patients, I'm touched, and I'm glad that we were here. 2 of them I can think of who are dead now and in recovery when they died. I've met patients, as I've mentioned here, who are 29 years in recovery. In those early years, we were small indeed, and we used to run our reunion 4 times a year, and it was held in the city room. So here we are today, so Castlecraig has grown. The coat of arms of Castlecraig has a mustard seed tree. And like a seed, the enterprise of Castlecraig is mushroomed, and the birds of the air continue to come and find shelter in its branches. It's been a great project, and like so many adventures, a bit scary at times, but fulfilling and fruitful. Once all of us who were working here began to taste those fruits of our work, and those fruits, of course, are all of you who are sitting here, the fruits of your recovery, the fruits of your joy, the fruits of your happiness. The big book talks of walking a road of happy destiny, our recovery journey. And we at Castle Craig first began that 30 years ago to walk that road of happy destiny. And for us, the opportunities unfolded and the little miracles began to happen. And it's the little miracles I love because they're so intangible. They catch you by surprise. They fill you with gratitude. And that's something, you sense that something special has happened, that it's been gifted, something mysterious and not simply of your own doing. This is a gorgeous time of year at Castle Craig. Everything's in bloom, the gardens are bursting, the rhododendrons are in bloom, the trees are blooming, the birds are singing, and there's light and sun and warmth. And it's a lovely time to be at Castle Craig and to return and remember the beginning of that ongoing journey and fellowship. It is easy to smile on a day like this and for our hearts to be filled with gratitude. So for today, I pray and hope that each of you can slow down, listen with a quiet heart, and hear the messages of hope from our speakers and from each encounter that you meet here. So let us open our arms and hearts to those we meet today, and let us seek to be surprised by joy, to be renewed, and continue as we leave here to embrace the challenges that await us. Thank you.